We are live. It is a great Sunday here for the Cruise Amigos. We are celebrating in Minnesota because it has been dry as the Sahara Desert, and I do not say that as a try and exaggerate it kind of thing. We are in a 100-year drought right now up here. Wells are even drying up some places, and we got rain last night. I guess early this morning, actually. I slept right through it. I only know there was great big boomers around because our big dog just has to be with people when it's that kind of weather, and he was in my bedroom this morning when I woke up. So I slept right through it, but there is a lot of rain on the ground, and it's still kind of coming down here a little bit. So nice. We're happy with that. With me today, right over here, is Amigo Chili. Always happy to see him. He is getting weller and weller. Because I learned that at school. It's not gooder and gooder. It's weller and weller. It's a state of health. So you are getting weller and weller, and we're gooder and gooder about your weller and weller.
I tell you what, other than this stupid having to deal with this oxygen business, I feel terrific. And I feel back to normal. Yeah, and I'm getting some hair back.
I mean, yeah.
It's not coming in quite the way it used to, and it's not quite the same color.
Give it a little time.
The forehead has grown tremendously.
Looking, but you have a big forehead, so it's part of your ego in there. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah, but other than that, man, I feel absolutely terrific. Wonderful. I really did.
So. Looking great. Sonny has already joined us. Happy Father's Day to all of the dads. And we're going to talk about that, Sonny. Thank you very much.
Sonny was on Adventure of the Seas all week. She went down to Nassau in the Bahamas and got on Royal Caribbean's Adventure of the Seas. And
no kidding.
Sailed around for a week. She went to over to the private island at Coco Cay, and then over to Cozumel, and then back to Freeport.
Wow.
On Adventure of the Seas. I had a bunch of folks that I was following on that one. Sonny, if you can put up there, because I was hoping to have somebody from Adventures of the Sea with us today, but they didn't come in. So did Royal Caribbean get it right? That's my question to you, Sonny. And if you can type an answer in the chat, I would appreciate that. But anyway, that's one of the questions I will have for them.
You got to keep talking for just a second. I got to reply to somebody. It's about picking up a musical instrument, so you just do that. And
you go right ahead. And I will say that it is a happy Father's Day to everybody.
Is it on the ground level?
Happy Father's Day. John, you might mute yourself. I didn't hear it. So anyway, yes, Sonny at Royal Caribbean did it right. No virus from start to finish. Awesome. Glad to hear that. It seemed like it from my following it that Royal Caribbean did a nice job. It was a successful sailing. And I'm tickled, where things are looking up for the cruise industry. Again, I don't know what to make of the order this week, the judge siding with the Florida governor in the lawsuit. I'm not entirely sure that it makes a whole hell of a lot of difference at this point. And it still doesn't answer the question of whether or not the cruise lines can require somebody to be vaccinated. So that to me is still the main question that's up in the air. Sonny says the crew and staff all wore masks the whole time. Passengers did not have to wear masks on board, but I still wore mine inside. Good. That's excellent. So anyway, I'm glad that that cruise went well, Sonny. That's terrific.
And nobody got sick. Nobody got.
Nope. It was a successful outing. So, and I've already heard that, of course, my main question, most important question about a cruise is the food. And the food was good. So anyway, happy Father's Day to everybody.
And
that was going to be the main subject of today is Father's Day.
Because you're kind of in the middle. I mean, you have a father that you have a great history with. And when did you lose your father?
Oh, let's see. It's been about 20 years ago.
20 years ago, you were in your 50s.
Yeah.
And I think I was 49. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was like, there could have been a generation between me and my father. And that's interesting because there could be a generation between me and my son. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of distance between my son and my father. And so I'm there too now. You know, I have both that. My son and daughter-in-law went to a wedding last night down in central Minnesota. So they're coming back today. And that should be a fun time when that happens. So lots of exciting things going on. Yeah, Father's Day. And, you know, I think that I listened to like 3 different church services this morning. And the one element that I think everybody left out as they were mentioning fathers is, you know, there's a whole lot of guys that do the role of father figure and aren't either a biological father or a stepdad or whatever. And, you know, we forget about those guys a lot. But even though I had a dad, I had other people in my life that really did pieces of being a father for me too.
Yep.
Both in business and sometimes emotionally. My dad was a staid German, you know, practically, if you can imagine a commander in a German army, that was kind of my dad. And we only really became father and son when my mom passed away, and he moved out back to his farm where I live, and I took care of him for the last 5 years of his life. That was our 5 years of wonderfulness when we hit it together. But as a youth, not so much. I mean, and I bet you if you asked him, he would have different, even probably worse words for it. So I was not a good son. I don't know about you.
Was he a farmer?
Oh, that was his.
That's what started the farming up there.
That was, oh, no. His grandfather started the farm.
Okay, even beyond that. Okay.
You know, his grandfather and then his father and then him. And I mean, other neighborhood farmers would go to the lake for the weekend, but my dad would be on the sugar beet cultivator because he felt that was the opportune moment to cultivate the beets or something. And I mean, everything. I mean, he didn't miss things like graduation or recitals or something when there were kids to see. He wasn't quite that extreme, but just about up to that, he lived and breathed his hands in the dirt. And, you know, when that first pass of the combine and the grain was coming into the grain tank and he would, you know, he just lived that. And I don't even want to tell you the adjective I would put in front of it, but I hated it. It just wasn't for me. Somehow I got DNA genes for music and entertainment, things that he, you know, why would you go and see somebody and pay money when you can listen to their record? That was his philosophy. And then the second follow-up to that is, and why would you buy their record when you can hear them on the radio once in a while? Yeah. That was, you know, so.
Well, my dad, even though he was never in the entertainment field, was an entertainer. He was a marvelous storyteller, especially about sports. My dad could have been a professional sports fan if there was money in it. Mm-hmm. I grew up, now that's going, you know, back 100 years ago. A typical weekend for me was piling up on my dad's bed and having 2 televisions going with 2 different football games and a radio going with a 3rd game going, and we'd listen to all 3 of them and know what was going on. But I had a similar situation with a dad and an adopted dad in that due to physical stuff, my dad was a disabled veteran from World War II, had total and permanent loss of 3 limbs. And so he physically couldn't do a lot of things that a lot of dads did. He got to some of my games. You know, I was always an athlete. I did everything. And of course, he bragged about me all the time, how you thought I was Joe Namath or something. But he just physically couldn't do a lot of things that many dads did. And my uncle, my mother's brother,
Okay.
became an adopted dad.
Sure.
His oldest son had left and gone to the Air Force, and I was a couple years younger, and he like adopted me. And so we had that relationship with my uncle all along.
Yeah.
And then I really got to know my dad. I was actually in college, and Mom and Dad came out to Kentucky and visited me for a weekend. And even though I was always around my dad, we were just not close growing up.
Hey, I know the feeling.
But that weekend in Kentucky, and that was actually the first time that I ever asked him about World War II, and heard directly some of the horrible stories from World War II. But that was the weekend that I really got to know and appreciate my dad, and he and I then were fast friends forever. So, but yeah, he was he was. I get all of my entertaining ability, if I have any, from him. He was clearly just a masterful storyteller. So,
and there is an art to it, isn't there? It's some people. It's that joke in the prison, where the guys would stand up and say 49, and everybody'd laugh, and 63, and everybody'd laugh, and the guest was saying, "What's going on here?" And well, we've been here so long that we just memorized the joke book because it would be easier. And then, oh, okay, can I try that? And he stood up and he said 22, and nobody laughed. And he said, well, what did I do wrong? And he said, well, some can tell them and some can't. And but it really is that some people can spin a yarn and some folks can't. And so, yeah, when you run into those guys, man, it's so neat to sit and listen for an evening. Yeah, nice. So,
yeah, my dad was a fun guy to be around in his own way. I took it upon myself to get him to ball games whenever I could, especially later in life. I lived in Pittsburgh for about 20 years. I got him up there for a couple Pittsburgh Pirates games. I got him up there for a couple Steeler games. I got him for I think one Penguin game. I got him to see Pitt and Penn State football game, which that one was a hard one because I had to get my dad up a horrible flight of stairs.
No kidding.
And that was a tough one. But I got him there, and he got in the stands for a Penn State football game. But he was quite the sports fan.
Wonderful that you did that. That's neat, That's neat. My dad, just to give you an idea of his sense of humor, only in the last 5 weeks of his life did he end up in a nursing home, and he was not happy. As a matter of fact, I think he planned his own exit because of that. But we were stuck at the point. We just couldn't care for him anymore at home. He had lost his ability to walk. But for the first couple of weeks, they were taking him to the cafeteria to eat with the other folks there. And this is a great place, by the way. I have no criticism of the place. But they decided that he would sit at another table with a couple of ladies. And he was at the end of his 94th year by this time. He died just 8 days short of 95. And they didn't say anything. So Sunday, my sister that Sunday joined him for Sunday dinner at the table. So it was these two elderly ladies and my father and my sister. And Jane and Dad, of course, kept the conversation going. And at the end of the dinner, my dad leaned over to my sister and he goes, "Not a lot of table talk." Because, these ladies just didn't say anything. I mean, they were in that stage of their end of their life that they just looked at their food. So my dad asked to eat in his room alone. He said, "Hey, I'd be a lot happier at the end of the meal if I had just eaten alone or watching TV or something." And so they did that for him. And it happened that there was a lady there, many ladies there that worked there, but that we knew separately. And so at supper time, that lady, when she was on duty, would come down and sit with him and chat with him when he ate. It just made him so happy, that just conversation, because he he was a talker, a converser. I wrote that word today. Up until 2 or 3 days before he passed, he was still talking like you and me, you know. So, but yeah, not a lot of table talk. It was just.
Well, I had my son and the grandkids. I actually got my Father's Day present yesterday morning, which was a personalized videotape from Lynn Swan, the former Pittsburgh Steeler.
No way. Nice.
Yeah, that was neat. Talking about a unique gift.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he talked about, of course, Jason Grant, my son Jason Grant and Katie's my grandkids. He talked about them. He talked about my troubles over the past few months and the chemo and going through the prostate cancer and then the lung issue. I mean, he did a hell of a job. So, but yeah, that was a kind of an interesting a gift, I thought. So
nice, really nice. So now you have one son.
One son, yep.
And then how many? And then what's the next level?
I got 2 grandkids.
2 grandkids, boys,
Yep.
girls.
Grant and Katie, 1 and 1.
Grant and Katie. Okay, so you do have your name is continuing on here yet.
Oh yeah, Grant is 16, started driving, and they are they are actually in New England. Katie, you'd never know it in my family, but Katie does some online stuff and has a friend that she made online, and the 2 girls got together and decided they wanted to spend a week together this summer. So Jason drove Katie up there to visit with her online friend, and he and Grant they're actually at the Basketball Hall of Fame today.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think they're going to do a ball game in Boston tomorrow. And then one day Grant's visiting a music college up there in Boston, which he's interested in going into the production side of the music business.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
he's looking at, tell's the name of it. Anyway, it's a music school in Boston. So,
fantastic. Well, I have no grandchildren yet. You know, Ronnie just got married 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, because of the 7 foreign exchange students that I had here, and then, of course, I don't know if you remember some history, but I lived with a gal in the 80s, and she passed away in the 90s. But she had a son named Chris that I raised from 6 years old, 5 years old. And he had 3 kids of his own, and then he got remarried last year, and she had 3 kids. So now there's 6 in that family. And so I've got 6 there. And then between my foreign exchange students, for years, it was nothing, because I had them between 94 and 94 and 2004. But there's been nothing. All of a sudden, there's been an explosion. One has 3, one has 2, 1. Just amazing. Matter of fact, my number 5 foreign kid just got married Wednesday, only because he and his lady are moving to Dubai.
Oh.
Her specialty is she teaches lawyers how to negotiate with American, or how to negotiate, meaning to get what they want, against American lawyers and European lawyers. Mostly Asians are her clients. And so she's decided she needs to be centered in Dubai as the best place to work. And you cannot live as a man and woman not married in Dubai. So the only reason they're getting married is because they're going to move to Dubai. On the other hand, they have a beautiful son that just was born about 3-4 months ago named Christopher. And he's just a spitting image of his dad. Frank is about 6'4", absolutely Aryan, like the image of a German. And then out comes Christopher, and he's now, like this big. And it's like me and Mini-Me on that show, It's just amazing. So I don't even know how many. I got 2 in Thailand. They're just spread all over of kind of grandpa-ish kids that call me grandpa.
Yeah.
And then now I'm going to actually have, hopefully in the next couple of years, we're going to have ones with Ronnie. So it's great. We got a lot of people that have been talking to us.
Yeah, Katie, you're absolutely right. Berkeley School of Music. That's the School of Music in Boston.
Berkeley.
That's it. And Nikki's with us, and Kim's with us. Good to see all you guys.
Hey, Kim. Yeah.
Kim's going to Dubai for a cruise in 2023.
Kim, you gotta look up my friends. It'll be great. Yeah. And then, hey, you guys, happy Father's Day at the Walmart grocery pickup. Nikki, what a great place to be.
Yeah.
Get some more protein shakes for me, please. That's all I can drink until July. I have my surgery a week from Tuesday. And then I'm still on this stuff till a week after that. Then I can start, you know, that little thing that mothers have where they grind up the food for their baby off their plate? I get to eat out of that thing for a week. And then I can start having real food again. So Katie said something nice. Maybe you want to take that one. Can you?
Katie said she had a very special relationship with her dad. He's been gone more than 20 years, but think a lot about him. Yeah.
Yeah, we all do, you know. For me, and I think for you, Chili, too, it's because I live in the house that my great-grandfather bought for my grandfather and his then 3 kids turned into 8 in 1919. So I'm living it every day. There's stuff in our shop that my dad was the last one to hang that thing, that tool or whatever, that belt on the wall there yet. So and Chili too, you're in that kind of a family house. So we live it every day and every moment rather than somebody who's, you know, in an apartment 2 states away and only comes back to the old place once in a while. So it's a everyday thing for us. So
yeah, my house it's actually on my mother's side.
Okay.
But my mother moved here when she was a teenager.
Wow.
And so she actually went to school here, but the house that I live in is the original 4 rooms were built in 1904. And actually, the room that I'm in right now, which I call the cave, which is my bedroom / studio, was one of the 4 rooms that was built in 1904.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's it keeps us reminded of that all the time.
You just, for instance, like the core of my house was 4 rooms like that. That, you know, talk about frugal. It was a Sears home that had caught fire in the roof in town. So great grandpa, of course, bought it and moved it out here, and they rebuilt the roof, and then they put a lean-to kitchen on it. And that's what my dad remembered growing up in, and then they put a better kitchen on it in an entryway, and that's my childhood. And then in '56, they added another bedroom and expanded the living room, and that was how it was pretty much till I got here. Now I've, of course, pushed it out in a couple of different ways, but the older, if you go down in the basement, you know, there's the 22 by 20 foot original, and those joists are made out of, I guess, hard oak. You can't drive a nail into them.
No.
I don't know what's happened to that wood over the 100 and some years, but it's just
petrified.
It's something. It's just amazing. So the center of that house, I laugh with Ronnie, is that, you know, you can do whatever you want to the house, but you're probably never going to move the core of it because, you know, you can put on a new kitchen, you can go this way, you can go that, but you can't touch this because there's a song, isn't there? Can't touch that. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the Beatles. That's the Beatles. Where were you?
I get those confused.
Where were you the night the Beatles played on Ed Sullivan?
I was sitting on a hassock in front of the couch watching it.
With your
Ed Sullivan was a regular in my household as I grew up.
Here too, black and white TV.
Oh yeah.
The night before had been a dance, a junior high dance at school, at Records.
Yeah.
And the Beatles albums were there. They played a couple of them, didn't go over so well.
Yeah, nobody knew who they were.
Right. And then
until the next day.
The next day, And then the next day in school, some of the older boys wore the haircut, with the hair coming down.
Yeah.
Teachers were kicking them out of class.
Yeah.
Because it came down to about here. Then nothing like the hair, a few years later where it was. But I mean, just because their hair was here rather than slicked back. The shop teachers were the worst at that. They seemed to have more control over their domains. Did you notice that in your school?
Yeah, pretty
the
much.
Shop and metal teachers, they were the ones that, yeah. And my shop teacher's name, you're not going to believe it. My shop teacher's name?
Mr. Hammer.
Mr. Wood.
Ah, that was
Mr.
close.
Wood. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, the bane of my existence was my English teacher.
No.
Oh, yeah. She was a thorn in my side.
And
she was from Massachusetts and had that unbelievable New England accent. Everything was, I'm glad you're in my class today. And,
well, but did you learn anything?
Oh, hell no. I got thrown out almost daily. I spent more time in the principal's office, who the principal happened to be a member of our church, and his wife played bridge every Monday night with my mother.
That didn't hurt.
So I knew the principal, and she'd kick me out of class and send me to the principal's office, and I'd sit in his office and we'd talk for an hour. Then I go back to class, get the hell out of here, go on. So,
folks, if you're just joining us, of course, it is the Cruz Amigos, and we've been talking about, everything that's going on out there, but it's really kind of a repeating story as they're firing up here in Chile. Of course, you can follow him every day. He's got the breaking news of what's happening. And man, I watch you every day at 10 o'clock, even if I'm not on. Sometimes I'm driving or whatever, but I hear you in the car or where the truck I'm in, and you've always got whatever's going on that day. And it seems to be the biggest thing is a fight between some judge in the state of Florida. Is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the judge sided with Florida, basically against the CDC. And I'm still not sure what that means for the cruise lines. So,
yeah. So
there's more to that story yet.
And we're just kind of waiting until this all settles down. I understand some of the Viking type river ships are floating pretty good over in Europe now.
Yeah, and
they're moving.
There was a Viking ship that sailed out of Bermuda this week.
Oh, ocean Viking.
An ocean ship. No?
Yeah.
So they're going with both right now.
Yeah. So
Viking's becoming there's a lot more activity with Viking than I was aware of.
Yes, but on a scale of 1 to 10, if Norwegian, if Carnival on a scale of pricing, and luxury, if Carnival's a 4, Norwegian's a 5, Norwegian and RC are a 5, where would you put Viking ocean ships?
Probably 6 plus.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. That's the same. Celebrity, the same.
Okay. And whatever happened to that little 1 ship or 2 ship out of Florida called the
Bahama Paradise?
Yeah, you were.
They are supposed to sail July the 3rd, I believe it is.
Okay, so he didn't.
They've got to do a test cruise yet.
Yeah.
But I believe they're set to sail on the 3rd and start back. They only have 1 ship now.
Well, hey, everybody started with 1 ship, right? Yep. Carnival started with 1. It was like a boat.
They scuttled 1 during the pandemic, and they're down to 1. But yeah, they're going to be back in business here shortly.
And there's going to be a whole lot of secondhand ships. I mean, you look at those. So they're probably going to be able to pick up one of the old Carnivals or one of the RCs and have that as their premier ship.
Yeah.
Here in a year or 2. You just watch. So
Allison's with us over there in Scotland.
Thank you,
Hi, Allison.
Thank you. Thank you. We're just talking about how important fathers are, not just our biological fathers or our adopted fathers, but sometimes men play the role of father for a short time, but really sometimes a really important time in our lives. So how important that is as we grow older, and sometimes even when we get older. So yeah, and Ace, the father cat here, he's just lounging around today because it's Father's Day for him too.
So Ace is still taking it easy, huh?
Oh, he's got his eyes wide open, but he's just
on your
sleeping.
lap. Oh, I see a paw sticking up.
Yeah, he's just So as long as he don't want to play cat games with me with his big claws, I'm okay. So well, of course, you're still on the heavy oxygen, which then means you can't get out. I thought it was funny. They were asking you if you're at this barbecue place where they were frying steaks in front of you or something. You said, "Well, I can't with my oxygen."
Yeah.
I was thinking you could have a lot of fun at one of those places, Chili.
Yeah, blow up.
Do a little. No, just hold it out. Like one of those magic tricks where and then you could bring it back and light it up again.
Yeah.
You can have a. No, come on. What's the worst that would happen?
I could blow up.
Well, we all face that. Come on. You should practice at home, I think. You should practice a couple times at home.
Well, I have I'm tethered to the machine here in the cave.
Right.
So when I go like out to the pool, I have to switch to a tank.
Yeah.
And I've got a little cart that I pull the tank on, and it goes everywhere I go.
Yeah.
When I go out to dinner, I got to carry the tank around.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's one thing. One thing you are not allowed to be around any open flame.
Of course. Now, is this all Medicare for you? Has this cost you anything so far?
It cost me $17 a month so far.
Hey, not so bad.
So yeah, I mean it's livable.
Wonderful.
The actually my nebulizer for the breathing treatments cost me more than oxygen supplies.
And that's because you
$23 a month to treat the breathing issues.
Okay, all right.
But the oxygen itself is $17 a month.
So this terrible healthcare in America has not done you that bad then so far.
Well, when you consider my bill probably total for the last pushing 7 months now is over $200,000.
Right.
And out of pocket, probably have spent $2,000.
And you have the regular Medicare, and then do you play for a supplement? Or
I have a supplement. Yeah,
quarterly thing that most of us
and
have.
it covers some things it
doesn't,
and
stuff like that.
Yeah, well, what the doctors in the hospitals do, they get a bill for a procedure, and Medicare pays so much, the supplements pay so much, and I pay so much.
Right. Yeah.
And thankfully, it's in small segments mostly. I had one good sized bill that I pay 10% per month on, and it was, I don't know, started off about $4,000, and I pay 10% per month. And and that's fine with the hospital. It's they're cool with that.
Good.
So, but yeah, I can't. I can't complain.
Now, if only we could get that same coverage like Medicare, like we have across the board for people. If we can figure out how to get every American insured in some way. Whatever the right way is, I don't know. Proselytizer isn't the word. That's bringing people in. What's the promulgator is not the word. See, I didn't pay attention that one day in English class. It's your fault.
Cracky, get Miss Williams on the phone. By the way, Allison just popped in, not to change the subject.
No.
She said she knows how much I love British fish and chips.
Yes.
The P&O Iona has a fish and chips restaurant on board called Hook, Line, and Vinegar. Sweet.
Yeah. And
I would be there
all the time
within 5 minutes of boarding that ship.
That's right.
I am a sucker for fish and chips.
See, what I go to on NCL is the minute I'm in and checked in and everything and free, I go to the what is the pub? It's the original owners or the boss's namesake, but I get calamari. Man, I've had calamari all over the world. I had it the other night at the Olive Garden. Wasn't near as good. Sorry, Olive Garden, as what's on NCL. They must just have a calamari farm somewhere in the world that's just making calamari for them every day, because you cannot beat the calamari on NCL. I challenge anybody.
It's been that way on every ship, every NCL ship that I've been on.
That's right. Universal.
Yeah.
Across the line. Some ships I like, some ships I don't, but the calamari stays the same.
Yeah.
And Kim says the same. Yeah. Good fish and chips. You can't beat it. If you guys have never had walleye, fresh, walleye's a whitefish in the perch family, a little bit longer fish, but we catch it here in our Canadian waters. And if you've had it, we call it a shore lunch, where you actually clean it and eat it right there on the shore. No bones, and deep fried. And the trick is, by the way, Chili, you do a batch of onion rings in the oil before you fry the fish. That's an old hack that people don't know.
Before you fry the fish.
Sure, you fry some onion rings in it, so you get
the flavor into the fish. That's awesome. That I've never done. I've caught walleye and cooked some walleye, but I've never done it with onion rings.
Do a batch of onion rings first.
Yeah. Okay.
And especially the Vidalia onions. I don't know if you know they're the white ones that are made for onion rings, and they're sweet. And they will leave a residue in that oil. And of course, you cannot let the oil get old. But of course, when you're on a one-time shore lunch, it's fresh oil. Man, I'll tell you, there is just nothing like it in the world. Nothing like it. So, yeah. And that, of course, they do not serve on any of the cruise ships. But if you come to John's Cruise Line here in Lowell Township, as a matter of fact, I can show you a picture of it. Here right now, I got a picture of it here. Look at this. This is a picture right outside my front window today. You can see it's raining. You might hear the dog screaming a little bit, but this is where my office sits in this. Now that's a road there. The horizontal right there is a road. You can see that's a cottonwood tree that mostly the windows or the leaves are moving on. There's a couple of plum trees, a couple of apple trees. And the reason it looks like fall is we have copper tinted windows out that way. So I could, when I take a picture, I can modify that in the color correction, but that's why it's looking like a little bit like fall, because it's not that fall-like. It's quite green actually today after the rain. But that's my front yard, and that's our main road then that takes us to 2.5 miles to the highway. And that's my road out of here.
And then from there, you can go down to the fence and throw stones at the Royal Mounted Police.
90 miles.
Across the fence.
90 miles.
If it sounds better that way.
Yeah, but it's true. It's true. Yeah.
They won't let you in. I hear they might switch that up here in July.
And
they might let you back in, John.
They extended it out to July 21st with no talk of changing it after that. So
maybe.
Yeah.
They're going to get very liberal up there.
It's just really unfortunate because, those of us that live here are completely different than those of the people that are, coming from the South that are trying to, come in for a different reason. Yeah. And I don't know if you know, but right along the borders up here, when there's funerals and stuff, they have opened the border for the families to cross just for the funeral. You can't go up to a town or anything, but you can go. They have opened the border for families and stuff, which I think is really honorable of them.
Yeah.
So, but my situation wasn't such that my good friend that passed away. So, but I have great memories of her, and I was smart enough when she was alive. I did get some minutes of video from her, so I can play them over and over again. And it's really funny. On one of them, she was sort of half dimension, and a man that was the manager of the store that I know she dearly loved him, but just at that particular moment, she said, "Oh yeah, Bob Unger, he's a crazy man." So I'll pull that out sometime and play it for him. But she, what a nice lady. She lived to be 95 years old and was in dementia for the last 3 or 4 years of it. So it was time for her to make her move. So, but this virus, anyway. And I know that people have lost friends. Just another one here this week for us. When you think it's over, but it's not quite over yet.
No.
And so I don't know how it is over here, but it's not over yet. It's very close to over, but we're doing good.
Wow, there's Emily. Emily's with us.
Probably kayaked in just to spend some time with us.
She did. She kayaked in to wish us all happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Emily.
She's going to get back in her kayak and kayak back to Boston or some damn place.
She's a kayaker, kayaker.
Oh, yeah. Big time kayaker.
Is
that a good word? A kayaker?
I'm not sure. I'm a
kayakess.
Yeah. That would.
She would be a kayakess.
If the Eskimos have 200 words for snow, how many words do they have for kayak?
Probably 264.
Do you go kayaking or do you do kayakness? Are you feeling kayakness today?
I sit and look out my window at 2 kayaks. That's as close as I get to them.
Oh, you can actually, are they colored?
They are, no, it's pretty neutral.
So
my brother-in-law owns 2 damn kayaks and they sit in my backyard. Now he's 86 years old and he just put a trailer hitch on my sister's car to pull the trailer with the kayaks because he says he's going kayaking. I said, "Are you out of your mind?"
Are these caramel colored kayaks?
Yeah, they're pretty caramel color.
Okay.
That would be a good color for them. So anyway, Gene claims that he's going to take my sister Gene. There's Gene and Gene. There's Gene with the G, that's him, and there's Gene with the J, that's her.
Okay.
Gene with the G is going to take Gene with the J and go kayaking, and that's going to be the end of them.
Okay. Would they have conniptions as they got in the caramel-colored kayaks?
Yes.
But they're not complacent about it.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so there's no complacency getting on a caramel-colored kayak without conniptions.
And Emily is a kayakess.
What are you referring to her?
A kayakess.
Kayakess.
Not with an A, John, with an E. Yes. At least I can say that about Emily because she knows I'm nuts.
I wonder if she's ever up her kayak river without her.
That's terrible.
Oh, I got to get a new water on that one. I think I'm not going to talk about it because if I talk about it, he'll always move first. But maybe if I can get there, I think I did.
Emily is the kayak queen. Nice pick.
He's sitting right over here, just like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Watching my show.
Yes.
Wondering if
Well, we've certainly been entertaining today. Nothing else. Entertaining the cat. The people don't, hell, I don't give a damn. But the cats enjoyed it. Uh-oh.
His name is Ace. So
I thought we lost your voice there for a minute. You were moving your lips and not saying anything. That'd be like I wish the politicians would be.
And now I'm a ventriloquist.
Move their lips and not
you can't
say
hear
anything.
What I'm saying, see, because I'm a ventriloquist, and now my hand is doing the talking for me.
So anyway, we've about wrapped up an hour. We've killed an hour here doing absolutely nothing. John.
Kill is a kind of a rather harsh.
Now I could do. Do we need to tell these people that I'm in charge next week?
You are. I should be. I hope to be on the show, but I could be.
This could be a complete disaster with me being in charge.
Maybe Allison and Emily and Katie and Kim, and maybe they'll all come and support you, Sonny.
Yeah.
And
I'll be in control next Sunday. So
we don't know what it.
If I don't do it right, tell me, folks.
The one thing you can say about the Cruise Amigos is that we have a lot of fun. We're going to get back on the boats someday. Maybe. I don't know. I still got a bet with Pete. We're going to make him pay out big time now that he's got his own show and he's rich and famous,
Yeah, and he's going on his second boat, getting ready to do his second one.
I guess money just falls in the sky from those people in England,
I guess.
Yeah. Chili.
Of course, mine's not money. I got the money to go. I just have to figure out how to get away from this oxygen to go.
Well, can't you get one of them things like they do underwater, them scuba things, or something?
My requirements are too high for the nifty portable things that you carry in a carry bag over your shoulder.
What if you had two of them?
They still isn't enough. It's on the concentration, and I'm at 4 liters, and the only thing they do is up to 3 liters in those nifty portable units.
And your English teacher said you couldn't concentrate, so that's
hell no, I can't. I've never been able to concentrate. That's the brain part.
That's why we all went into the media,
Yeah. Well, then that's just concentrate.
Doctors.
We just had to run our mouths.
Yeah. Doctors and scientists and stuff need to know a really lot of stuff about a very narrow subject.
Yeah.
But our job is to know a very, very little about a whole lot of something. See, we're just different people that way. So,
yep.
Just different people that way. Well, you have yourself a good week. I will, Emily, I sent Katie and Jackie and Thomas and Allison and Nikki a message about Chili being in charge next Sunday. Good luck, Chili. Okay, but Emily, you got to get them all to be here and be part of it. Maybe we'll even send you access so you can all have your pictures on the show and you can all be telling Chili, you can just say, Chili, no, Chili, don't do that. And yeah, it'll be fun. You'll have and then let's see if I can get you, let's see who would, maybe the captain of the Titanic would come back and be on the show. That would be
that'd be cool.
You could ask him, so how was the food in third class? Just really get on him about some things,
By the way, y'all, I will have a couple interviews during the week this week. There'll be a chilly chat with JJ Cruises, who was with Sonny on the Adventure of the Seas this past week. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be talking with our friend who is out on the
think about it, it'll come to you. A, B, C, D.
I went blank. Is
Royal Caribbean?
the hell's the name of the ship Janine's on?
Is it Royal Caribbean or is it P&O?
No.
M starts with an M.
Oh, she's going on the Viking.
Viking.
Yes.
Viking, and it's a Viking Olaf, Ingrid.
Venus.
Venus. I would have got
Viking
that.
Venus.
Viking Venus. Okay.
So anyway, she's out in the middle of the ocean. Got a message from her this morning. We're going to do our chat from on board the Venus on Thursday.
Okay.
So she will be on Travel and Cruise Industry News Thursday morning. At
There
least
you go.
part of the interview will be on there. I might be all on there. I don't know how
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Watch Chili's show every day, ladies and gentlemen, at 10 o'clock.
11 o'clock my time.
11 o'clock Eastern time. And that would be like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, England time.
4 o'clock London time.
If you're in Bali, you got to get up in the middle of the night because you want to watch it when it's fresh. You do not want the news to get stale. So make sure you check on that. It has been wonderful. Happy Father's Day, my friend. Didn't think that we'd be maybe having a Father's Day with you this year, the way you
That's
were
correct. I'm
going on. And
grateful for every day.
every day is a blessing, man. That's right. Every day we can stand up, put our feet on the floor.
Yep.
And we thank God for that. So exciting news coming in the cruise line. We know it as each cruise is successful. It makes for 2 more kind of. It's doubling down every day, and we are happy about that. So thank you all for being, Cruisy Patsy? What's that? Sherry at
Cruise Tips TV.
Well, you say it your way, I'll say it mine. Is on the adventure of the seas right now. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki. And Emily, we are grateful. I know Chili is too. We sure are. All right, that's it for Cruise Amigos for today. We love you all, and we just hope to see you around the plate of calamari on a ship real soon. So in the meantime,